What a weekend of Premier League action. Match day 6, 10 games, 30 goals, with 8 goals coming in one game. My name's Ryan Archer. This is the Unbiased Premier League review show. Let's get straight into it because there's so much we need to go through in this show. Starting off, and listen, as I said, 10 games, 30 goals. So let's start. Crystal Palace 0, Fulham 0. Yeah, the only 0-0 draw of the weekend. Not the greatest games. Not going to bore you with it. Great point for Fulham away from home. Both teams didn't have many chances, and any chance they did have, didn't finish them. So, yeah, not the greatest of games. Palace and Fulham fans won't want to watch that one back. But, yeah, moving on, we go to Kenilworth Road, where Luton get their first ever Premier League point. Do you know what an achievement for Luton Football Club? You know, from where they was 10, 15 years ago, their fans could only have dreamt of getting points in the Premier League. And, you know, they got their first point, but they had to work for it. It was a very tough game at home to Wolves. You know, early on in the game, Wolves did have a sending off. Bellegarde got a red card. Yeah. Oh, my God. Why did I say that? Yeah. Anyway, listen, Wolves found themselves 1-0 up. Pedro Neto with a great finish. He's really started the season well, Pedro Neto. But yeah, look, Luton got back into the game. Colton Morris, their top goal scorer from last season, got put the penalty away and earned Luton their first ever Premier League point. And I mean this, you know, it's great to see, you know, what a fairy tale story for Luton. And look, hopefully this might be the first of many points that they're going to need to survive this season. Moving on, we go up north. We go to the Etihad Stadium, where Nottingham Forest were given the task this week to stop Manchester City, and they didn't. Look, not many teams will stop Manchester City this season, but it wasn't a great start from Nottingham Forest. 1-0 down after 7 minutes. Great goal from Phil Foden. Great finish. And then just 7 minutes later, we all know who scored. He doesn't stop scoring. Erling Haaland with a great header. Yeah, he's on fire this season. But Manchester City just go from strength to strength. 6 out of 6 in the Premier League. There was another red card. The second red card of the weekend. Yeah, it was Rodri. What is he doing? Just after half time, you know, gets into a little altercation with Gibbs White, puts his hands around his neck. Bit of a delayed reaction from Gibbs White, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, the referees pulled the red card out, and Rodri's now missing for Manchester City for some important games over the next few weeks. But look, another win for Man City, and as I said, they go from strength to strength, and they are top of the table. 5:30 kickoff on Saturday. See Everton travel down to West London to take on Brentford. A lot of people probably would have backed Brentford in this game, but listen, Everton had different plans. They put in a great performance, a great away performance. They found themselves 1-0 up early on through Decore. Brentford did equalise through Matthias Jensen, but second half, Everton stepped it up a bit, and they deserved it. You know, Tarkowski scored against his former club. And then the man that all Everton fans pray will stay fit for the rest of the season was Dominic Calvert-Lewin with a great finish to seal the game, 3-1. And the Everton fans heading home happy. And it was a big relief for Sean Dyche, who has been... They've started the season poor, Everton. But this was a great win, great 3 points, and a well-deserved 3 points for Everton as well. Saturday night, 8 o'clock kickoff. Manchester United travel to Turf Moor to take on Burnley. I'm not going to lie, this wasn't the greatest game of football. It was a tough watch at some times. Burnley did have their chances to put themselves 1-0 up, but they just couldn't take it. And when you're in the Premier League, newly promoted clubs, well, any club really, in the Premier League, if you don't take your chances, you will be punished. And I've got to say, before I talk about the goal, I've got to talk about the assist. I thought David Beckham was back in a Manchester United shirt for 1 second, because Johnny Evans, the man that probably Manchester United fans didn't want. It was a surprise signing when he did sign for Manchester United in the summer. But what an assist. What an assist from Johnny Evans, and a great finish from Bruno Fernandes. I've got to say, world-class finish. Whatever you think of him, he's one of them players. You hate to watch him. You hate him when he plays against your team, but you would love him to play for you because he's an absolute talent, and he showed that on Saturday with the finish. Absolutely world-class goal, and great finish, and a great 3 points for Manchester United. But Burnley still without a win. Vincent Kompany, finding it tough back in the Premier League. Dominated the Championship last year, played a good brand of football. He's still trying to do it in the Premier League, and it's just not working. So he may have to switch it up. Right, moving on to Sunday, where, can I just say, 21 of the 30 goals were scored on Sunday. What a great day of football for the neutrals. We started off with the North London derby, two teams that are in fine form this season. Arsenal versus Tottenham at the Emirates. The first North London derby of the season ended in a 2-2 draw. Very entertaining game. Bukayo Saka, what a game he had. It was his involvement for the first goal. He shot. Romeo went in off of Romeo. Own goal, no doubt about that. But Arsenal, buzzing after that. But, Tottenham this season, they're playing a different brand of football under Postecoglou. They're really enjoying their football under him. And James Maddison has been in unbelievable form this season. One of the signings of the summer, £40 million for an England international, and he's just been unbelievable since he's been in the Tottenham shirt. Great work from him down the left, played the ball back, and Son was there to tap it home. And Tottenham deserved the equaliser, and half-time 1-1. Second half, it all happened in the first 10, 15 minutes of this second half. I mean, Bukayo Saka put Tottenham well, that's not going to go down well at the Emirates, is it? Me saying that. Bukayo Saka put Arsenal 2-1 up with a penalty after a VAR decision. It was handball, Right, the referee had to check it, but yeah, it was handball, no doubt about that. Great penalty from Saka down the middle, no chance for the goalkeeper. But then, literally a minute later, James Maddison gets the ball. Jorginho, I don't know what he was doing in the middle of the field, but Maddison gets the ball, plays a great ball through to Son, and Son with a great finish. And Tottenham get a point, well deserved. I thought a draw was a fair result in this game, but a very, very entertaining North London derby. Next, we go to Brighton, the South Coast derby, where Bournemouth travelled to the Amex. Dominic Solanke actually put Bournemouth 1-0 up in this game. A mistake from the goalkeeper. Solanke with a great finish over the top. And then, just before half-time, Brighton equalised. And then in the second half, the player that everyone's talking about, they love him down at Brighton, Matoma, comes on as a sub, and he changes the game straight away. A minute into the second half, puts Brighton 2-1 up, and then 77th minute, great header from him, and seals the points for Brighton after a difficult week. They lost at home in the Europa League, but back to winning ways in the Premier League, and Brighton go from strength to strength. I've been very impressed with Brighton so far this season. Next, we go to Stamford Bridge, where it's not going well for Chelsea, is it? Pochettino's men, losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. What a great result this was for Aston Villa away. They won their last season as well. So, I mean, it didn't start... Well, I'm going to be honest, right? Now, there was a red card in this game. Gusto got sent off, for which I don't agree with it. It was, okay, he did follow through, but he got the ball. A few years ago, them tackles, you get away with them. He was given a straight red. I don't agree with it. But look, Ollie Watkins, 2 attempts with this chance, but Great finish. First goal of the season. Off and running for Villa now. And yeah, look, great result for Unai Emery's men. But Chelsea, they're struggling. You know, as I said last week, they spent a lot of money, no European football, but they just can't seem to get a win. You know, they had chances in this game. Sterling, Jackson, Enzo, you know, they had some great chances, but Aston Villa take the 3 points, and it's another disappointing weekend for the Chelsea fans. Moving on to a game I was at Anfield. Liverpool hosted West Ham United. Yeah, as I said, I was there. Not a great performance for West Ham, but we did have a chance. I'll say not a great performance. You know, I think the scoreline sort of flattered Liverpool a little bit. We did have our chances. Souček with an early header, great save from Alisson. But then Antonio, the man that opened his mouth earlier in the week, you know, in the build-up to this game, he should concentrate more on finishing his chances than worrying about who we're going to finish above. You know, I don't know what that header was about. Great ball into the box, but yeah, he's just misjudged it, and he's made himself look an absolute fool. But look, Liverpool got an early penalty. Aguerd bringing down Salah. No complaints from me. It was a penalty, sloppy from Aguerd. Mo Salah, great penalty, straight down the middle. But just before half-time, Jarrod Bowen got us back in the game. Great ball in from Soufal and a great diving header from Jarrod Bowen. Bit like James Ward-Prowse's goal against Manchester City last week. But look, we had our chances just after half-time. Bowen had another header, headed straight towards Alisson. But after that, Liverpool took control, and, you know, Núñez had a great chance to put Liverpool 2-1 up, but he fluffed his lines. But look, great strikers do what great strikers do, and when they do get chances, they take them. And just after that, McAllister with a great ball over the top, and I've got to say, over the shoulder volley, great finish from Núñez. You know, what a player he is. He's really starting to find his feet at Liverpool, and put Liverpool 2-1 up. After that, Diogo Jota, corner from Liverpool, headed back by Van Dijk. And yeah, Diogo Jota with probably the easiest finish he's ever going to have in a Liverpool shirt. Sealed the game for Liverpool, sealed the 3 points for Jurgen Klopp's men. And as I said last week, Liverpool are just going under the radar. No one's really mentioned them in the title race, but I think they will start mentioning them now, because they're just, you know, they're playing well. They're unbeaten in the Premier League. You know, I think that's like 16, 17 games now. It's they're doing well, and yeah, great 3 points for Liverpool. Moving on to Sheffield United versus Newcastle. Now, if you watched last week's show, I'm going to hold my hands up. Never judge a book by its cover. When I see that this game was live on TV, I looked at the fixtures on Sunday and I thought, there's some better fixtures that you can put on. But how wrong was I? Shut up, Ryan. You don't know what you're talking about. Sheffield United 0, Newcastle 8. Look, as a Sheffield United fan, you know, this has got to be one of the worst days, you know, in your life. You know, losing 8-0 at home, it shouldn't be happening in the Premier League. I know we have seen some big scorelines over the last few years. You know, Southampton have been on the end of a couple of 9-0 defeats. But, yeah, Newcastle were just, from start to finish, unbelievable, you know. And the good thing for Newcastle in this game, 8 goals, 8 different goal scorers. It's rare that you actually see that. You know, there was some standout goals. I thought Anthony Gordon with a great finish. He had a great game, probably his best game in a Newcastle shirt. Yeah. Look, if I was a Sheffield United fan, fair play to them Sheffield United fans, by the way, that stayed and to the final whistle, because at 5-0, I would have been home, and I'd have been tucking into my Sunday roast before that 8th goal went in. But yeah, great away day for Newcastle and their fans. You know, unbelievable result. It's not often you see that. Newcastle obviously love getting 8 against a Sheffield team, because they've done the same to Sheffield Wednesday all them years ago. So yeah, nice. I can't even imagine what Sheffield United fans are going through. But yeah, not a great day to be a Sheffield United fan, but what a great day to be a Newcastle fan. And yeah, look, that was it for the results of the weekends. Some great games, great goals, controversial red cards, well-deserved red cards, VAR decisions. But yeah, look, let's get into the awards as I've done last week. Let's start off with the goal of the weekend. There was a couple of standout goals. Look, Nunes for me, he could have got it. I could have given it to him because I love it, but I've got to go for Bruno Fernandes at Burnley. I just, as I said when I was talking about the game, what a world-class strike. They're not easy to do. And the way he controlled the volley, the power he got in it, the great assist from Johnny Evans. And yeah, no, I've got to give it to Bruno Fernandes. What an unbelievable strike. Moving on to performance of the weekend, I think there's only one. How can I not give Newcastle United the performance of the weekend? Going away from home and scoring 8 goals in one game, 8 different goal scorers. It has to be. I can't give it to anyone else. So, yeah, Newcastle United, you get my performance of the weekend. Moving on, player of the weekend, could have given it to Son, Saka. There was some great standout performances this weekend. But I think for me, I'm probably not going to do this often this season. I'm going to actually give it to a right back. And I'm going to give it to Kieran Trippier. 3 assists, unbelievable performance from Trippier. Seems to be getting back to his best. The form that found him as a regular England international. Great performance from him. As I said, 3 assists in one game. It's not often that a right back is probably going to get it this season, but yeah, I'm going to give it to Kieran Trippier. Unbelievable performance in an unbelievable game. Now for the one that no one wants to win, the flop of the weekend. Now, could have given this to Rodri for his silly red card, costing Man City, with him playing for Man City in the next few weeks, so he misses out. Could have easily give this to Sheffield United for their losing 8-0 at home. But you know what? I'm going to give it to Pochettino this weekend. As I said, look, not a great weekend to be a Chelsea fan. Losing 1-0 at home to Aston Villa. Pochettino just not getting it right at the moment. He spent a lot of money. He's come in. Everyone thought he was going to hit the ground running. But it's been a few bad weeks for Pochettino. And he has to start getting the results. Because if he doesn't start picking up the results, you know what Chelsea are like? They like to get rid of their managers. And I'm sure that Frank Lampard is sitting there somewhere dusting off his Chelsea tracksuit because he's thinking, I might get the call, 3rd time lucky. But yeah, no, look, flop of the weekend goes to Pochettino. So yeah, that was it for the weekend's results. Some great games, great goals. But yeah, let's have a quick look at the Premier League table. No shock, Manchester City, 6 wins out of 6. Top of the table, closely followed by Liverpool, who have moved up to 2nd. Brighton, who have started the season unbelievable, into 3rd. And then look away, Arsenal fans. They won't want to see this. I know it's only by goal difference, but, Tottenham into 4th, above Arsenal. Aston Villa up to 6. West Ham, Newcastle, Manchester United, and Crystal Palace complete the top 10. Fulham, Forest, Brentford, 11th, 12th, and 13th. Chelsea in 14th, look, a few more bad results, and then we can say them, if they don't pick up a win in a few weeks, we can say they're going to be in a relegation battle. And then Everton moving up to 15th, Wolves and Bournemouth just outside the bottom 3. Luton Town off the bottom of the Premier League, and Burnley in 19th, and Sheffield United, no surprise, down at the bottom. Goal difference took a hell of a beating this weekend. 8 goals in one game, down to the bottom on 1 point. But look, 1 win and that can all change. Now let's have a quick look at the top goal scorers in the Premier League. Same as I said last week, it's going to be very hard that someone knocks Erling Haaland off. Another goal for him this week. He sits there comfortably on 8 goals. Closely followed by Son from Tottenham, Jarrod Bowen. And yeah, you can see the list there. But yeah, Haaland just dominating. He's probably going to dominate in all season, to be fair. Let's have a quick look at the assist. May I assist you table? Yes, you can. These are the players that they assist the goal scorers. 3 players with 4 assists: Neto, Maddison, and Mo Salah. You know, some names on there that you see week in, week out. James Ward-Prowse down there representing West Ham. This is the unbiased show, but I've got to give him a shout out because he's been brilliant for West Ham. Let's have a quick look at next week's fixtures, Matchday 7's fixtures. As I do that, if you look at the bottom of the screen, this was an idea by one of the people in the comments last week. They said, Ryan, why don't you give us your predictions? So as you can see, scrolling across the bottom of the screen now is my predictions for Matchday 7. So why don't you give me your predictions for Matchday 7? Look, Aston Villa host Brighton in the early kickoff on Saturday. Arsenal travel to Bournemouth, Everton versus Luton, Manchester United Palace, Newcastle Burnley, West Ham take on Sheffield United in the Carlos Tevez derby. It's Wolves' turn this week to try to stop Man City. Good luck with that. And then great game at 5:30 kickoff on Saturday as Liverpool travel to Tottenham. On Sunday, one game on Sunday, Nottingham Forest host Brentford, and then Monday Night Football sees the West London derby, Chelsea travel to Fulham. But yeah, as you can see, my scores are going across the bottom of the screen. Give me your prediction and your thoughts. But yeah, look, what a great weekend of football. Matchday 6 provided us with, as I said, 30 goals. You know, a lot of talking points, a lot of great moments. But yeah, look. So yeah, look, really enjoyed this week's show. A lot to go through. There is so much to go through in these. I'm trying to get it as it's not perfect. I know that, but I'm trying to. Each week there will be improvements. So I'm trying to think of a new name for this show. I'm not really happy with the unbiased Premier League show. If I have to stick with that, I will. But if you can think of any names for this show, try and have a little play on words with the Premier League and that. So yeah, I'm trying to think of one. Any ideas are welcome. Look, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Please subscribe. We do some good work on this channel. It's not easy running a fan channel. Obviously we are a West Ham channel, but I'm looking to bring in more. I'm really enjoying this show and doing it. So yeah, I think that's it. I think that's it for Matchday 6. So looking forward to Matchday 7. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. Give us a thumb down if you didn't like it. Give me some feedback. Any feedback is welcome. As I said, I see a few comments in the comment section last week, and it gave me an idea for the prediction thing. So I chuck that in there. Any more you'd like to see, chuck them down. And yeah, I will leave that there. So until Matchday 7, keep loving football, keep watching football, and I will see you next week.